I represent the people of Kaltungo Shongom Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Gombe State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion on the need to provide leadership support mechanism for the teeming youths in Nigeria. The House notes that the youth population is the greatest asset of any nation, as they constitute the socio-economic and political leadership that forms a capital base for the development and sustenance of the country's present and future generations. Also notes that without adequate leadership development mechanism, the country's future leadership may remain in deficit, since the youth serve as a good measure of the extent to which the country can reproduce and sustain itself. Aware of the need to integrate the youth population into the mainstream leadership and consequently provide legislative and policy frameworks to ensure leadership skills among the youth. Also aware that although different national policies on youth development exist, they are currently insufficient to cater for the current youth bulge and the growing youth population and organizations, non-governmental organizations and student bodies. Concerned that the current youth development structures have become grossly inadequate, and as a result, some have immigrated outside the shores of the country to find greener pastures, thereby dissipating the country's human capital potentials. Resolve: urge the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports to review and expand current youth centers to cater for the growing social needs of the youth. Mandate the Committee on Civil Societies and Development Partners to liaise with development partners and relevant ministries and agencies to support the design of leadership training models and the establishment of youth leadership development centers across the 6 geopolitical zones to bridge the leadership gap among the growing youth population. Mr. Speaker, I so move. From insecurity issues to other matters that has bedeviled this country is largely perpetrated by young people. And it is an indication to actually make the leadership to look at the current population in the country and consider building certain structures that will safeguard the future from further loom into social problems. Mr. Speaker, it is no longer news that we have more people, more of Nigeria's population within the ranges of 0 to 14, which is about 43% of Nigeria's population, whereas the ages of 15 to 24 is about 33%, and then 19% constitutes 25 to 54. What it means is that Nigeria's population is younger than 55 years of age. This tells us that there is more need for the country to consider building structures that support the mechanism to build leadership development among the younger population of the country. If you consider executive and strategic leadership forms of development that the country has in place, for example, NIBS and so on, most of the people who are trained in strategic leadership are people who are far above the age of 60. People at the level of 15, level 15 in the government, level 16, and usually have less than 5 years to spend in the government. But when we consider building leadership institutions to support the leadership mechanism at a younger level, we will have more young people who will grow within the system and support the leadership of this country. Mr. Speaker, I call on other members of the House to support this motion to advance the leadership capacity and potency of Nigeria. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.